Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, something about soccer that makes absolutely no sense. Also, love them or leave them when your significant other starts making way more money than you. All that and more on the way next. Thanks for joining us for the Hudson Show from RadioU. If you're listening during July 4th week when this is being recorded, then happy July 4th. Happy Canada Day as well, since they're in the same week. And if you are listening to this during July 4th week, you should know that shop.radiou.com is offering free shipping on all RadioU merch this week only as a little token of our appreciation. So go check out our RadioU merch. I think you'll really enjoy it. Unfortunately, no shirts or merch with my face on it yet. But rest assured that's something I'm working on, although I will not allow that to be shipped for free. It's much too valuable. Let's start with this. Aaron Rodgers is back from his mystery trip that had so many criticizing him for missing the Jets' mandatory minicamp here in the offseason. Now we know where he was. The trip is not a mystery any longer. He was on a pre-planned trip to Egypt that he had scheduled while he was injured last season. Before, apparently, he knew the dates. The dates have been announced of Jets' mandatory minicamp. And then he also returned from Egypt to go to the UFC 303 fight in Vegas over the weekend, where he hung out with a former teammate of his, Mercedes Lewis, and also Gordon Ramsay, interestingly enough. Aaron Rodgers, now people are still criticizing him. How could you not reschedule your trip or, whatever? Well, listen, first of all, you know how it is when you're injured. If you're laid up, you got a lot of time in your hands. You got to occupy yourself somehow. What was he doing? He was perusing travel websites, trying to figure out how he's going to spend his off season. And then the Jets come along and announce the mandatory minicamp schedule after he's already planned a trip. And now you want him to reschedule? No, the Jets should reschedule. In fact, not only should the Jets reschedule, I actually think the whole NFL should have rescheduled the last season. Once Aaron Rodgers is out for the season, you postpone the season because it's not a real season if it doesn't have Aaron Rodgers in it. Aaron Rodgers is the Jets, and his absence, no matter what it was for, is not going to change how their actual season goes. And when they're 12-5 this season, I don't think anybody's going to be going, well, he still shouldn't have gone to Egypt, because they're going to be fine. RELAX. It's the Hudson Show. What is America's favorite chicken sandwich? Well, the results probably won't surprise you. I have some shocking results here, but it's not that the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is America's favorite. I know it's wrong, but it's the wrong I've come to expect from Americans. 53% of people in a new survey say that Chick-fil-A makes the best chicken sandwich. It's just flat out untrue. Popeyes does make the best chicken sandwich. If you had them both side by side, you'd realize that. But Popeyes came in a strong second. 21% of people saying that Popeyes was the best chicken sandwich. But here's what's shocking. This is what's sad. One company might as well just bow out of business right now, and that's KFC. Because KFC did not come in third, as you may suspect. That was Wendy's. KFC came tied with McDonald's and Burger King for fourth favorite chicken sandwich in the United States. KFC, the chicken is their whole thing. Burger King, it's burgers is in the name. It's surprising they even serve chicken. And McDonald's, who actually likes McDonald's? Especially the chicken is just like, because it's supposed to be cheap, but you're not going for the chicken sandwich. KFC, that's all they have. And they're tied with McDonald's and Burger King. I think it's not, the Colonel's lost a step. It's time for him to just hang it up right now, because he's nowhere near the neighborhood that he should be dwelling in with Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. I have a woman who tried to murder her husband with Mountain Dew. Now, Mountain Dew on its own is not lethal, maybe in normal doses. So what did this woman do to try to kill her husband with Mountain Dew? Apparently, she poisoned it with Roundup, as in the weed killer. Now, fortunately, although Roundup is lethal to weeds such as crabgrass, chickweed, dead nettle, leafy spurge, henbit, nuts edge, curly dock, and the common dandelion, it's not lethal to humans, at least yet again, not in the dose that she gave to this guy, and her husband was able to survive. Now, you might be wondering, why would a woman try to kill her husband with Roundup and Mountain Dew. Apparently, she threw him a 50th birthday party, and she didn't think he was appreciative enough. Well, this ought to, if he's dead, he can never appreciate what you do, right? I didn't really think that through. The box office breakdown, letting you know what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. What did make money for the third week in a row? Listen to how much money Inside Out 2, your number one movie at the box office for the third week in a row. It made another $57 million, which is good. But it's now, just in North America alone, $469 million Inside Out 2 has made. Absolutely unbelievable. That is incredible. I saw it a couple weeks back. It's a fine movie. It's not amazing, but it's good enough to make $469 million in North America. That is insane money. Number 2 at the box office this week, it's A Quiet Place Day 1, the prequel in the A Quiet Place series. It was close to getting that number 1 spot. It made $53 million, which is still pretty solid considering how the theaters have been doing as of late. So not a bad opening weekend, I'd say, for A Quiet Place Day 1. If you saw it, let me know at 8772 RadioU. Then we had Kevin Costner's movie, Horizon, An American Saga, Chapter 1. Feels like this is not that great of a sign. He spent $38 million of his own money making these movies. It made $11 million in its first week. Actually, you know what? I mean, I guess he's made a quarter back. He's still got 3 or 4 movies to go in the series. So if he does that every week, he'll break even. Number 4 was Bad Boys, A Ride or Die. That made another $10 million. Not a bad fourth week for that one. And then number 5, I didn't know what this was. Kalki 2898 AD made $5 million in North America. That appears to be a Hindu version of Dune. If I tried watching the trailer, that's kind of what I was picking up there. If you saw anything good over the weekend, let me know at 8772 RadioU. What did I watch? Not a whole ton of movies. I did watch the first episode of The Bear, which I love, on Hulu. The first episode is very strange. Just an interesting show, The Bears. The first episode is like entirely a musical montage. I mean, there is some dialogue, but the entire thing pretty much set to one song, a song that's actually 10 minutes, but they stretched it out to take up about 36. Good episode, though. I like The Bear. Looking forward to keeping on with that season. What did you watch? Let me know. 8772 RadioU. That's your box office breakdown. Over the weekend, I don't know about you, but I got kind of sucked into soccer a little bit. You've got the Euro Championships going on right now and Copa America. I watched a bit of both. It's so thrilling now that the Euro tournament is into the knockout stage, where there's just so much tension when it comes down to the end of the game. There's a lot to like about soccer. Every once in a while, I get sucked in when it's one of the bigger tournaments. But that said, there's still so many things about soccer that not only do I not understand why they are the way they are, but I will never be convinced. There's no soccer person that's ever going to come along and convince me otherwise. One is penalty kicks at the end of the game. There's no way, especially if you're talking Euro Championships, World Cup. These are the best players in the world. I understand if you can't make the shot because the goalie stops it. I don't understand how you miss the net. It's the biggest net. The ball's not moving. What are you doing? There's another thing I realized I don't understand this weekend, and that is stoppage time. Why in soccer do they not just stop the clock when play stops? You could easily do that. It is made even more incomprehensible because there was a situation that came up. They have this thing where they have a chip in the ball that can determine if the ball was touched. And it actually came up in a recent game where they could tell when the replay, based off of the chip in the ball, that it had hit somebody's hand and it was a handball that you may not have been able to determine just on replay alone. They have that kind of technology, and yet they're still like, hey, let's just let the clock run, and then the referees can kind of make up how much time should be added on at the end of the game. Why? Why do it so imprecisely? Can you imagine in the NFL, if the clock just ran, and then at the end of the game, the referees are like, yeah, attack on 6 minutes, how upset people would be if the Chiefs came back and won it with 1 second left. So let's have a moment of honesty here. Are you afraid of going to the doctor, going to the dentist, the eye doctor, whatever? Because I know for me, particularly the eye doctor, it is a little bit of a fear. Maybe fear isn't exactly the right word. Maybe aversion. Why? I think this is true for a lot of us because you're afraid. You go to the doctor's going to find something wrong with you. And if you just kept sitting there, not going to the doctor, there may be something wrong with you, but at least you wouldn't know about it. It feels like that hurts less than knowing, even though knowing is how it can be fixed, right? And what's crazy is, like, when you go to the doctor's not looking for stuff to be wrong with you because it makes the doctor happy. Like, yes, sick. He is sick. Awesome. This is going to be great for me. At least that's not how it's supposed to be. If it's a good doctor, the doctor is looking for things wrong with you because the doctor is trying to help you. You know, in the same way, that's how Jesus is, where maybe we're very afraid of God because we're afraid that if we let God into our lives, he's going to start finding a bunch of stuff wrong with us just because he gets some kind of weird joy out of that. Like, yeah, look at this guy. What a messed up loser he is. Look at all the problems in your life. That's not what God is doing. God is for you. He's not against you. So if you let him into your life, he's not looking for a bunch of things to point out that are wrong because it makes him happy. If there are things in your life that aren't going the way they should, God is for you. He wants to help you fix those things, but he surely isn't looking down, ready to be angry, ready to be upset, or just ready to point out stuff just because it's fun. That's not what Jesus is doing. Jesus is for you. Remember that. And if you want to know more, start talking to him. Let him into your life. Say, hey, God, I want to know more about who you are, how you can help me, how you see me, and how you love me. Start talking to God and let him talk to you, and go to radiou.com/free gift. Well. Looks like the anti-vaxxers are getting the last laugh after all these years later. A woman from Chattanooga, Tennessee, who refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine has just cashed in. She's been awarded $687,000 from her former employer after she refused to get the COVID vaccine back, when you were supposed to. And she was fired from her company, Blue Cross, for not getting the vaccine. She now, all these years later, has finally, her case has been settled, and the jury in a federal court has awarded her $687,000, which is actually, that's amazing for her. I can't imagine, even if she had stayed working at this company all this time, she wouldn't have made anywhere close to that much. So I guess it's paid off for her. And so maybe this is a lesson to us that the next time a vaccine mandate comes along, maybe you hold out. It might be tough for a moment, for a few actually years, but then your ship will come in years later on and you'll make way more money. Although in the meantime, you also may turn into a zombie or something like that. That's the risk you take. You just don't know. You don't know. As if Elon Musk wasn't rich enough already, it's just been announced that NASA is going to pay SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, $843 million to destroy the International Space Station. Apparently what they have to do is, what SpaceX will have to do is design a vehicle, they call it a deorbit vehicle, that will pull the International Space Station out of orbit into the planet's atmosphere here on Earth at more than 17,000 miles per hour, and then have it crash safely in the Pacific Ocean. That sounds like a lot of trouble. And no wonder they're paying $843 million. Quite frankly, I would be happy to get paid much less than that to destroy something much smaller. I'm open to that if anybody's offering. And I still don't understand $843 million. I mean, that's our money, right? That's our taxes to destroy something that also we kind of paid for in the International Space Station. I don't understand it. Plus, why are we bringing it back here to Earth if we're going to destroy it anyways? There's way more space in space than there is on Earth. That's why they call it space. We got enough trash here already. Send it out somewhere. Jettison it. Make it another planet's problem. Why do we have to deal with it? There's a lot of people upset this morning. A lot of soccer fans in the United States upset the United States was eliminated, the men's team, from Copa America after their loss to Uruguay last night. And it doesn't seem right, does it, that the United States could get eliminated, an early exit from Copa America in soccer the very same week as July 4th, Independence Day? Or does it? I don't know why American soccer fans get so upset and so disappointed when we lose it like so early in these tournaments. Not that, you shouldn't be sad when the team you cheer for loses, but I just don't know why we expect better as Americans. Soccer's not our thing. Like, why don't we just accept that? There's a million other things that America is the best at, and we are really freaking the best. Soccer's just not one of them. And so stop getting your hopes so high. Stop expecting the United States to excel in soccer like we do in so many other things. And I think you'd be a lot happier. You lower your expectations, and then you're happier when you get surprised by a good result. I think is the attitude I would take. Take it from me, a Buffalo Sabres hockey fan. Trying to figure out some good 4th of July movies. Obviously, Christmas, Halloween, even Thanksgiving have their own movies. New Year's, Valentine's Day. What about July 4th? What movies do you watch for July 4th besides the obvious Independence Day? You can hit me up at 8772 Radio U. In fact, I've got Molly on the phone right now. Molly, what's up?
Hey, I got a good 4th of July movie.
Okay, what is it?
Sandlot.
Sandlot. That's a good choice. I was looking it up. Can I be honest with everyone right now? I have not seen The Sandlot. Maybe it's a little bit before my time. I don't know. You know what? That one, though, it says it actually has a scene on the 4th of July. And so, therefore, I think that's a big blind spot for me. For me personally, going to have to add The Sandlot to the list of movies that I'm going to watch for July 4th. I'm going to have to squeeze that one in. I got a text from Mariah who says, Glory with Matthew Broderick. Have not seen that one either. Okay, this is an obvious choice. Very American. The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Okay, a couple of good choices to add on there. We're talking 4th of July movies. What movies make sense to watch on 4th of July? 8772 Radio U. Ooh, I like this one from Ben who says National Treasure. Yes, now we're talking. I have seen National Treasure. I've seen the second one too. And National Treasure, very patriotic, all kinds of Americana history in there. I like that as an option to add into the list. If you got a good 4th of July movie, you might want to be watching this 4th of July week. 8772 Radio U. We'll try to see if there's any more to add to the list. So far, Sandlot, Independence Day, obviously, Glory, The Patriot, National Treasure. What else you got? Just heard from Jenna, who says Grown Ups is a good movie for 4th of July. I have seen Grown Ups, not a favorite of mine, disappointingly, because, so many great comedians in it. Didn't just work for me. I remember it being very summery. Is it a 4th of July movie or is it summery? Either way, we'll take it. Also, Eric saying Captain America. Now, that's a good choice. Getting real patriotic, and you got to involve Marvel in any movie marathon one way or another. Joseph going a little older school. He's saying Forrest Gump. If you want to talk about just like straight up super American movies, I think Forrest Gump fits the bill. I watched that not too long ago, actually, so I don't think I'm going to recircle back to it, but it's a solid choice. Brad says Lincoln. That feels like quite an undertaking, doesn't it? Isn't that like 3 hours and pretty slow and boring? But a tour de force by Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know. And then Aubrey, this is one I can't believe I forgot about this, because I feel like in the last couple of years, everybody was watching this for July 4th, and that is Hamilton, of course. An excellent choice. We talked about The Sandlot. I said I haven't seen it. Jim says, haven't seen Sandlot? You're killing me, Smiles. You know what's funny, Jim, is that I'm familiar that is where that comes from. My wife says it all the time, and I say, you even know what that movie, like she hasn't seen The Sandlot either. She didn't even know it was from The Sandlot. So I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to say it. We've had that argument before. If you have any more good July 4th movies, let me know at 8772 Radio U. Oh, we got another one. Apparently, there's a musical called 1776. That's a musical, so it's going to be a tough sell for me. Apparently, I didn't even know. I don't know what it is, but I'll look it up. It's time for Love 'Em or Leave 'Em. When relationship issues arise, you know where to turn. Let us know at 8772 Radio U. We'll help you out here. Not just myself, but the Hudson Show fans as well. We got this one. It's a little heavier than maybe what we've done in the past. We got a guy who says, hey, looking for some advice because I'm really struggling with my wife's growing popularity as a streamer. She's got around 200 daily viewers on Twitch. and her fans absolutely adore her. She's super engaging, and I love seeing her do something she's passionate about. So where's the problem? He says it's starting to feel really weird for me. Her fans are always commenting on how amazing she is, sending her gifts, and even trying to get personal with her, which makes me uncomfortable. Makes sense. Even though she's never crossed any boundaries. Okay, so we're all good here. The part that's hitting me hard, though, is the money. She's making way more than I do at my job, and while I'm incredibly proud of her success, it's stirring up a lot of insecurities, feeling less confident and more like I'm not pulling my weight in our relationship. We've always been a team, but now it feels like she's a star player, and I'm just sitting on the bench. Oh, I like the sports analogy here on the Hudson Show. I've been talking to her about it, but it's tough to explain without sounding like I'm jealous or unsupportive. She reassures me all the time, but the feelings just don't go away. It's like there's this constant pressure and comparison for me. How can I be supportive without letting my own issues get in the way? Well, it's tough here. We may not have people that have the specific experience of, having a wife or a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. That's a streamer that's doing really well, but maybe we do. But what do you do when the other partner is just more successful than you? And maybe you're a little jealous, maybe a little insecure. Maybe they're bringing home a little more bacon. 877-2-RADIO-U. Share your thoughts, your advice for today's Love 'em or Leave 'em. We'll see if we can help this guy out a bit. I think I've got some thoughts, but what do you think? Dakota says, her wins are your wins. He should be her biggest fan. Don't compete with your spouse. They are going to do what they love regardless. It's our job to make sure we get invited along for the ride. I like that. Similar to what Zara said, who said she's your partner, not your competition. I mean, almost exactly the same. I think we're all, a lot of us on the same page here. Why is it a competition? If anything, like it could be a competition if that drives you to do better in your life, but it kind of sounds like you're just moping about it. Corin says, you know how your wife has been completely gracious and calm about the fact that you've earned more than her for the entirety of a relationship? Maybe you should try to be like her. That's putting a pretty fine point on it, but I like that from Corinne. Here's what I like. I'm with Dakota. I think I'm with everybody here. I don't know why this is making you upset. I feel like this should be something like a lot of people out there, men and women alike, would be psyched if this was their situation. Oh, my partner's making a lot more money now. That's pretty awesome. Now, I understand, guy or girl, if the attention that the other person is getting could be uncomfortable, but it doesn't exactly sound like that's what this guy's dealing with here. If she's getting guys that are just going to bother her, and if she continues to get more popular, the truth is that's going to probably come more and more, which is unfortunate. Then that's a decision that maybe the two of you, particularly her, need to decide if that's really something we're dealing with for the money that you're making. But if everything's above board, and it's just about the money, listen to how good you have it. Your wife is just making more money. Why would that make you upset? We do have Stacy here who says, it sounds like he might need therapy to deal with these issues. It is possible because it kind of doesn't seem like you should be as upset as you are. But I like the fact that you've got the self-awareness to know that you're at least letting your ego get in the way here. So hopefully you can get the help you need. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.